Hi, this is Debbie with Easy Piecing, and today we're going to do a pineapple block on our foundations. They're very sheer, you can see through them. They're pre-numbered. We tell you what size to cut all of your pieces. I have all of my pieces cut for the entire quilt, which will be 49 blocks. It's going to be a king size quilt. And I have put my pieces together for this first block in numerical order. And we're going to start. First of all, I want to tell you that we're going to show you today how quick this is. I do get a lot of people telling me that, oh, they love the precision that they get with paper piecing or foundation piecing, but it takes too long. So I'm going to show you that this block is a really fast one to do. It finishes at 12 inches, and it's really fast and it's a lot of fun to do. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take fabric piece number 1 and you're going to set it with the wrong side facing up, and then you want to set the foundation block on top of it. When it's in this position, you want to be able to read the printing that is on the foundation, and you're going to look through the foundation to your fabric underneath, and you want to have about 1/4 of an inch of the fabric extending beyond the line between space 1 and space 2. And if you really want to save some time, you can move it over and have it be about 1/4 of an inch into space number 3 also. So you won't have to cut for either one of those. You want to put a pin in it to hold it in place. Turn it over so the right side of the fabric is facing up, and take our fabric piece number 2, put it right sides together even with that edge that goes the 1/4 inch past the line, and we'll put a pin in it, turn it back over, and we're going to stitch on the line between space 1 and 2. And you just want to start and stop where the line starts and stops. You want to use a regular stitch length, somewhere between 10 and 12 inches. 10 and 12 stitches per inch. That way, if you do make a mistake, you can take your stitches out pretty easily. It won't destroy the foundation at all. You'll be able to keep right on using it, unlike paper. And the great thing to our foundations is you're just going to leave them in when you're done, so they keep your quilt from stretching, keep everything nice and square. After you stitch it, you want to press it, and I like to set my seams first and then open it up and get a nice flat seam. You're going to be sewing over this seam line, so you want to start off with this nice and flat so you won't get any puckers as you go, because once you sew them, they'll be there forever unless you want to take the time to take it all out. So this is where piece number 3 is going to go, so we'll turn it so the fabrics are facing up, and we will take fabric piece number 3, put right sides together, the edges even, and put a pin back away from where you're going to be stitching. And we will stitch on the line between space 1 and space 3. Clip your threads. It's important to keep your threads clipped. You don't want to get them caught between the foundation and the fabric in case your thread is a little darker and you have a light fabric or something. You don't want your threads just show through. And then we're going to press it. And now for pieces 4 and 5, we're going to trim down to 1/4 of an inch. We have our straight edge. We're going to line the straight edge up even with the line between space 1 and 4, and we'll fold the foundation back over the straight edge. Use our add 1/4 ruler. It's got a 1/4 inch lip on it, so it just hooks onto your straight edge. And we'll trim this little bit of fabric away. And we're going to turn it, and we're going to do the same thing for piece number 5. And you'll see as we go, we're going to be trimming for each round as we go. It saves a lot of time. And then we will turn this over. Piece number 4. Right sides together. The edge is pretty even. I have the wrong side there. No, I have the right side. And turn it over. Stitch on the line between space 1 and space 4. And when you get started on this, you will get in a rhythm and it will go even faster. And we'll press this one. And then we're ready to add number 5. Right sides together. And stitch on the line. We have, I think it's well over 100 different blocks designed now. So most any designs you want are available. And if you don't see what you're looking for, you can always let us know. Now, for the next round, pieces 6, 7, 8, and 9, we are going to trim all 4. This is for number 6. And this is where you start making up some time. Normally you would trim for one piece, sew it on, press it, and then trim for the next. But with this block we can do it in rounds. And it makes it go quite a bit faster. This is for number 7. 8. And number 9. And then what we're going to do with this one is we're going to take number 7, put it on here, and put a pin back here. And we're going to do number 9. And we'll pin in. And then take it to the machine, stitch on the line, and it doesn't really matter if you do number 7 first or number 9. Instead of cutting it, I'm going to just switch it around and go across and do number 9. Turn it over and cut that thread. Take the pins out, press it open. I use a little bit, I use a medium steam setting on my iron. I know a lot of quilters don't like steam. It's entirely up to you. I find that it gives me a flatter seam. Now we're going to do number 6 and number 8. Same way, put right sides down. Put a pin there and we'll turn it over and we'll stitch on the line. Pick it up and turn it over to this side. Trim my threads. And then we will press it open, and then we'll really be ready to start scooting along. We'll be able to do a complete round at one time. Snip open. Now we're going to trim for the next round, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we will trim as we did before, put in the straight edge along the seam line. Use your add a quarter ruler, trim those corners off. If any of you have made a pineapple block without foundations, you know that after every round you have to square up the block. And that leads to not all your logs being exactly parallel or straight, and you don't have to worry about that with our foundations. It will stay square. And the last one here. Now we're going to take the next round fabric pieces, put it face down, and I like to do it and then just take the next one, put it down, and put a pin in the corner where they overlap. And just keep doing it like that. And next one. Pin there. So there I have all 4 for the next round, all pinned in place. We'll turn it over. And we'll just start in any one of those, the lines this round. And we will stitch to the end of the line. Pick our needle up and turn it and just go across that corner. And stitch on the next one. Pull the needle up, lift up the presser foot, slide it across the corner to the next line. And for our last one. And then you want to go and at least clip the thread. I like to clip it close. And our tail. And do the same thing on the front side. And you don't have as much thread waste when you do the full rounds like this. We'll take our pins out and we will press it. And that fast we have all 4 pieces from this 3rd round done, and we'll keep doing the same process of doing all 4 pieces for each round. I'm going to trim for the next round, trim all 4 pieces in preparation, and add the next 4 in the same manner, pinning them in the corner where they overlap. And we'll go ahead and finish this one up and get back to you when we're just about finished with it to show you how to complete it. Okay, so we're just finishing up the last piece on our block. We've got the 4 corners sewn on. Whoops. I got the corner caught in there. In which case, just take the stitching back out. This happens occasionally, no big deal. Take that out, we'll flip it over and sew that little bit of line that where we took the stitching out. We're good. Get all these threads trimmed off and do a final pressing. I did it on that side too. Big tails here. Take my pins out. I take these couple of stitches out here. With these long tails, sometimes this will happen. But it's an easy fix. And then we're going to give it a good pressing. Set those seams and press that nice and flat. And if you want, on a block like this, sometimes, especially if you're not going to be joining them together to other blocks right away, you may want to just do a bit of a basting stitch in the seam allowance around the outside. We're going to trim this now. You have the solid line, and you want to trim about 1/4 of an inch past that solid line. Don't depend on the dotted line to be your 1/4 inch. It is there simply to make sure that you get your fabric out far enough so you will have at least 1/4 of an inch of fabric in the seam allowance. But you want to trim it with your own ruler. You'll trim it the same way every time, so you'll always end up with the same 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So when you sew them together, the raw edge will meet and your seams should be, the seam line should match up with the piece on the other side. So there you have a completed block. And we have a whole stack of them we've done. We're doing our colors in a random order, no particular order on these blocks. So I have cut everything for the blocks for the entire quilt. Start with piece 1 and then the first round, second, third, fourth, and so on in the corners. And this is our completed block. We have 49 of these, 48 more to go. And that will be our king size quilt. And we will be doing another video on speed cutting to get you up to speed to make this go really fast. So stay tuned for that one. Thanks for joining us.